Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a story that honestly feels straight out of a cinematic thriller. It's your classic David versus Goliath setup, but instead of slingshots, we are talking about artificial intelligence. We're tracking a young Bengaluru-based startup that's literally dismantling Silicon Valley's AI monopoly right inside the massive Indian market. The company is called SARVAM AI. Founded less than 3 years ago, they are quite literally beating trillion-dollar titans, we're talking Google and OpenAI, at their own game. And the way they're doing it? By fundamentally rethinking how AI should process local languages and documents from the ground up.
I want you to just let this number sink in for a second. 84.3%. Now, this isn't just some cherry-picked internal metric. This is SARVAM Vision's benchmark score on the incredibly rigorous OCR Bench English subset. If you're not familiar, it's a highly competitive, standardized test for optical character recognition, or OCR. Basically, it tests how well an AI can look at a document, actually read the text, understand the messy layout, and extract the real meaning. And pulling an 84.3%, that is an absolutely massive achievement for a startup this young.
And here is exactly why that number is such a big deal. SARVAM Vision's 84.3% isn't just good for a startup, it's industry-leading. Put it head-to-head against Google's Gemini 3 Pro at 80.2% or OpenAI's ChatGPT sitting way back at 69.8%. SARVAM is absolutely beating the most expensive, powerful names in the industry on complex document tasks. You might be wondering, how is that even possible? Well, traditional global OCR systems completely break down when you throw them a real, everyday Indian document. Think about a standard government form. You've got multiple scripts, hand-stamped sections, blurry, low-resolution scans. Western AI is primarily trained on clean, perfectly formatted English internet data. SARVAM, on the other hand, built a 3 billion parameter model trained specifically for the pure chaos of Indian documents across 22 different languages. They literally purpose-built an underdog to take down Goliath, and the data proves they're winning.
All right, let's get into Section 1, the code switching problem.
To really grasp what's happening here, we have to understand a crucial linguistic concept, code switching. It's the practice of alternating between two or more languages, or even just varieties of a language, right in the middle of a single conversation. In India, people don't usually speak in pure textbook Hindi or pure textbook English. It's a very natural, fluid blending of English with regional dialects, which is how we get combinations like Hinglish. It's incredibly dynamic, but to a massive global AI trained mostly on standard American English, this fluid blending is just pure noise. It completely short-circuits Western AI systems.
I want to read you this real-world customer service prompt. Sir, आपका loan amount approve हो गया है 5 लाख का. EMI start होगी next month से around the 15th. That right there is exactly how a real Indian customer service agent speaks. Natural, flowing, switching back and forth. But when a standard global AI model tries to say this, it breaks the illusion immediately. It'll speak the Hindi words smoothly enough, but then it mechanically snaps into this jarring, robotic, American-accented English for the phrase around the 15th, before snapping right back to Hindi. It sounds completely broken. The customer instantly knows they're talking to a robot, and your engagement just plummets.
Moving on to Section 2, SARVAM's Indic AI Arsenal.
Let's break down the actual tech stack SARVAM built from the ground up to solve these hyperlocal headaches. First up, we have SARVAM Vision, the OCR powerhouse we were just talking about. Then there's Bulbul V3, which is their text-to-speech engine. And we aren't talking about 1 or 2 clunky robotic voices here. We're talking 11 different Indian languages, featuring over 35 distinct, natural-sounding voices, with active plans to expand to all 22 scheduled languages. Finally, there's Saras V3, their streaming automatic speech recognition system. And here's the absolute kicker with Saras. It operates with a sub-250 millisecond streaming latency, meaning the AI actually starts understanding and transcribing the speech while you are literally still talking. That is absolutely vital if you're trying to build a real-time phone agent.
Now let's look at the hard data from the Indic Voices benchmark. When we measure word error rate, where, of course, a lower percentage is better, SARVAM V3 pulls off an incredibly low 19.3% across the 10 most popular Indian languages. Compare that to the significantly higher error rates you get with Gemini 3 Pro or GPT-4o Transcribe. This proves SARVAM's dominance isn't just in reading text, it is actively, measurably better at hearing and correctly understanding Indian accented English and that highly complex code-mixed speech we just talked about.
Let's jump to Section 3, Speed, Accuracy, and Cost.
Let's look at the Caller Digital benchmark numbers. This is measured by MOS, or Mean Opinion Score, where actual native human speakers rate the voice quality on a scale from 1 to 5. SARVAM's Bulbul scores a massive 4.5 for Hindi, That beats 11Labs at 4.2 and totally leaves Google Cloud in the dust at 3.9. But you know what really blew enterprise testers away? The name pronunciation. Bulbul hit a staggering 92% accuracy rate in correctly pronouncing Indian names. Global competitors stumble hard here. They mispronounce a common local name and boom, the customer experience is immediately ruined.
And then we have to talk about the brutal economics of enterprise AI. If you compare the cost per minute of synthesized audio, SARVAM's Bulbul is coming in at roughly $1.50 to 2 rupees per minute. 11Labs, which everyone considers a premium global standard, comes in much higher, sitting between 250 and 350 rupees per minute. For a massive enterprise that's running tens of thousands of minutes a month, that premium adds up incredibly fast. Don't get me wrong, 11Labs is a stellar option for pure English, but SARVAM is delivering significantly better local Indic context for significantly less money.
Now, to be completely fair, we have to look at the full picture, and that includes a real latency trade-off. Over on the developer subreddits, engineers who are actively integrating these systems have pointed out a technical reality. Ultra-fast global providers like DeepGram or Cartesia can return voice responses in a blistering 150 to 250 milliseconds. Depending on your exact setup and the text complexity, SARVAM's Bulbul can sometimes take over a full second to respond. It's a known trade-off. You get that vastly superior English handling and unmatched code switching accuracy, but currently, in certain integration setups, it might lag behind the raw, blistering speed of those specialized global APIs.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Sovereign AI Mission.
38,000. That is a massive number, and it represents the amount of GPUs operational right now under the government's India AI mission. You see, instead of just buying all their AI infrastructure from America, India is heavily subsidizing the compute power to build it domestically. And as part of winning the contract to build India's first sovereign large language model, SARVAM secured access to 4,096 NVIDIA H100 GPUs. That's a compute grant worth roughly $30 million. They are absolutely armed to the teeth with computational power.
And they actually have the leadership to use it effectively. The founders of SARVAM aren't just some guys fresh out of college. Dr. Vivek Raghavan spent over a decade building Aadhaar, literally the world's largest digital biometric identity program. Dr. Pratyush Kumar led AI for Bharat, the major open-source Indian language AI initiative. They founded SARVAM in 2023 and very quickly secured $53.8 million in funding from heavyweights like Lightspeed and Peak XV. This team has the proven, battle-tested pedigree to execute digital public infrastructure at a true population scale.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, the multimodal future.
The smartest enterprises out there? They are no longer forcing one massive global model to do absolutely everything. Let's break down the step-by-step routing strategy that top platform architects are using right now. Step 1. They route all their Indic-heavy, code-switch traffic straight to the regional specialist, SARVAM's Bulbul. Step 2. If a caller is speaking pure, premium English, they dynamically route that traffic over to 11Labs. Step 3. If it's a massive, cost-sensitive bulk notification blast, they route it to a self-hosted open-source model like AI for Bharat. They are building smart, dynamic platforms that choose the absolute perfect model for every single call.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer, and it leaves us with a pretty provocative question. Is the era of the one-size-fits-all global LLM officially over? I mean, if a dedicated team in Bengaluru can build a sovereign AI that consistently beats the trillion-dollar Silicon Valley titans at local tasks, it really challenges everything we assumed about global tech dominance. What you should take away from this is that the future of AI isn't just about getting bigger, it's hyperlocal, it's highly specialized, and it is going to be incredibly competitive. Thanks for hanging out with me for this one, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.